الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا وإمامنا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. رب زدني علما نافعا وعملا صالحا. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إسرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. ربنا أفرغ علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. ربنا هب لنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. ربنا هب لنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. ربنا هب لنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. سبحان الله بحمده سبحان الله العظيم. سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. سبحان الله بحمده عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. سبحان الله بحمده عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. سبحان الله بحمده عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. سبوح قدوس ربنا ورب الملائكة والروح. سبوح قدوس ربنا ورب الملائكة والروح. سبوح قدوس ربنا ورب الملائكة والروح. أما بعد، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. It's a good sign the hall is packed. Or maybe it's the topic. Oh yeah, brothers. Before I go into the actual topic of marriage, I'm going to give you, brothers and sisters, some facts and realities which will be hard-hitting. It'll be painful, it'll be also bitter. But it's important that you know the reality of this issue before we actually go into the romance of the issue, if I can call it romance. So the reality is, my brothers and sisters, is that I do nikah, I do the contract of marriage, and I also reconcile between people who are married. And the fact of the matter is, the rate of divorce, irrespective of whether the marriage was arranged or the marriage was so-called love marriage, is I wouldn't call it a crisis, but it's near crisis. is near crisis. So a lot of us may have come to this seminar, this topic or this lecture for the sake of hearing the romance behind marriage. And inshallah we'll talk about that. But there is also a reality that we also ought to know or be aware of. And that is the divorce rate within the Muslim community for the last 15 years has jumped up in a very sharp manner. And the fighting between the spouses and the arguments and the severe consequences that is taking place within the families, it was unheard of once upon a time within the Muslim community, or it was very rare. It was like 0.001%. But now it's become nearly 75% within the Muslim marriages. So it's a bitter reality. And thereby you brothers and sisters, those of you who are not married, you need to prepare more, better and greater than those who previously came to these kind of lectures. So what I'm trying to say is you should have the mindset of preparation for marriage rather than the mindset of this romance that people tend to have when it comes to marriage. Without any doubt, my brothers and sisters, marriage is if it's not the utmost sort of delights of our life, it could be, without any doubt, one of the at least utmost of the delights of our life, if not our existence. And this is proven by the incident of Adam and Hawa alayhi salam. You know, Adam alayhi salam, he had status, he also had fame, he also had wealth, he also had power. So everything that a person, a human being runs after, or can be manipulated, or can be blackmailed, or can sell his soul, Adam alayhi salam had all of them. So he had status, he had fame, he had ranks, he had power, he had authority, he had power, he had people listening and even obeying him, the angels, for example. He had also Allah Jalla wa Ala. Yet he felt lonely. I wouldn't say he felt empty, but I would say he felt lonely. Was that out of necessity or was that out of default? I would say out of default. Because by default we are created in pairs. By default we are created in pairs. So we are in need of one another by default, especially we are in need of another human being. And what we mean by that obviously is the opposite gender. So Adam alayhi salam was in need of an opposite gender, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created for him Hawa alayhi salam. And you see the romance between them, because they began to enjoy Jannah. So Adam alayhi salam obviously was enjoying Jannah, but he did not notice at all what was haram for him to do, which was the tree, not to go close to that tree. So he didn't even notice that, because he was being yearned at all. Okay, is that this mic?
I just need to be a bit closer.
Okay, I'll just hold this down, okay? Can you hear me, sisters? Okay, I'll hold it. So, Adam is... My voice is a bit small, but to hear my voice like this, it's like I'm a giant. Okay. So when Adam al-Islam felt his survival needs were fulfilled, he began to roam and check other things out in Jannah, including what was haram for him. So this shows that finding a spouse is a must. It's fundamental to who we are as human beings. It doesn't only fulfill your courtesy matters, your recommended matters, it fulfills your actual sheer survival of you as a human being. And that's why we have this urge, right, to be with another gender or the opposite gender. We have this burning urge, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it, rather there's everything right about it to have that urge. It shows that you are a man or you are a woman. And you know, the story of Yusuf al-Islam is often recited, or it's often tafsir is done about and spoken about. But sometimes I think we miss the point of Yusuf and that woman. And the point in that whole story that Allah brought forth was that Yusuf al-Islam had that nature that a man is meant to have. He had that shared nature, yet he rejected and refused because it was haram, not because he didn't have it. And that's why the story was brought forth, for us to take lesson that Allah knows you have that nature, but just because you have that nature doesn't mean you can do anything and everything about with it. That's the whole point of that incident, but we tend to miss that incident, miss that lesson. Anyway, so having that shared nature isn't something negative. That's the first mindset you need to get rid of, especially the brothers and sisters who are worshippers, who are, mashallah, very close to Allah, and they are worshippers. And what they tend to do, they tend to shun it. No, it's not about shunning, it's about channeling it. I said that again. It's not about shunning it, it's about channeling it. Allah never says to shun it. Even Sallallahu doesn't say about shunning it. What he says is he gives you options to channeling that shared nature. One of the channels, opportunities he gives Allah, and the best form is fasting. So it's channeling, not shunning. So having that shared nature towards the opposite gender is a good sign, and it's an upright sign. It's a very pure, innocent sign also of who you are. And the greater urge you have, the better. There's nothing wrong with it. So don't try to shun it. I know a lot of people, they tend to try to shun it, and then it becomes worse for them. So don't try to shun it, rather find ways to channel it. So the first and foremost is that this search or yearning for the opposite gender and spouse is part of your survival and part of your living, part of your existence. And there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever at all. Second point is channel it. Do not shun it. Have that mindset. When you have that mindset of channeling, it becomes easier. So what do you do? For example, fast, as Rasulullah said, just one. Mondays and Thursdays, or every other day. The other one is arrange a marriage early as possible. Arrange it through your guardians. Arrange it early as possible. Do not delay. Do not say, okay, I'm going to go to university, do this and do that, build my career, and then I'm going to look for marriages. So many sisters, for example, now are suffering because of that mindset they have. Last week I saw two sisters. One was 36, one was 42. Right? They're desperate now to get married. Why? Because they had the mindset of career. One is, mashallah, graduate from Oxford University. So, don't have that mindset. Brothers say, early as possible, arrange marriages through your guardians. Arrange doesn't mean you're going to get married. What it means is you know you're going to get married to so-and-so, and she knows that she's going to get married to so-and-so. Arrange it early as possible, quickly as possible. Obviously see each other. Don't arrange without seeing each other. See each other, like each other, no problem, in front of your guardians or around your guardians, no problem. Arrange early as possible. What that will do is again channel the urge. So you will have that contentment in your heart, in your mind, that I am married with so and so. So that will have this emotional, psychological settlement and contentment. The other practical thing to do is stay with people who are worshippers. If you stay with people who are not worshippers, then their speech and their talk most likely will be around opposite gender, whether directly or indirectly. And then you'll open the door for a shayateen to come in and they talk about it, and then it'll be a slippery slope. So the third thing is stay with people who are worshippers, who have that bond with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and who are channeling it in a correct, upright manner. Fourth, give sadaqah. So when you're struggling with channeling it, you're struggling, start giving sadaqah. Start giving sadaqah with the intention of channeling it in an appropriate manner. So start giving sadaqah. If you're giving £5 a week for it and it's not working, give £10. If you're giving £10 for it and it's not working, give £15. If you're giving £15 and it's not working, there's something wrong with you. Joke. Give £20. Okay? Let that money hurt you. Eventually, you will begin to channel it in the correct manner. Ultimately, my brothers and sisters, this is nasiha. There is a stage while you're going through that channeling and challenging. There is a stage which you will not be able to attain afterwards that you need to attain at the end. And you all are lucky. I'm married, I can't do it anymore. Those who are not married, you have a stage that I can't attain it anymore. Or everyone who's married, they can't attain it anymore. It's gone. That stage from our hands and our authority and our power is gone. Only you can attain it. And that's the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Kahf. إِنَّهُمْ فِتْيَةٌ آمَنُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ وَزِدْنَاهُمْ هُدًى. And that's the statement of all the Prophet speaks about. And all the people who protected themselves, man and woman, throughout, from Adam and Hawa all the way through Imam Mahdi and people afterwards. There is a stage that only the people who are unmarried can attain. And Sallallahu says this in the hadith, the famous hadith of the seven that will be beneath the arsh. One of them he says, شَابٌ نشأ في عبادة الله. شاب نشأ في عبادة الله. That is a young man or a young woman who nasha. The word nasha means that he knew what he was doing, he was conscious, he was aware, he was channeling what he was going through, and he was growing and developing and nourishing his self and nafs and soul and heart and mind with the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Shabun nasha'a fi ibadatillah. Now, we always had this hadith, but I just wanted you to think of the context. So on the Qiyamah day, everyone will be running around sweating in the sins, without clothes. Without clothes. Everyone. The whole humanity. The exception will be given to only those who will be beneath the shade of Allah. That's it. So that only they will be accepted from this awkward nakedness and sweating of the sins. And that group will be the seven. Amongst the seven will be this group of people. When they were young, when they had the urge, they channeled it. in the upright manner. So they will not be only shaded from the wrath of Allah, that's obvious, but they will be also shaded from the eyes of people also. And that's important, that's vital. Because they protected their honor, so Allah protects their honor on Qiyamah Day also. And that's vital for us to have as a mindset. I want to attain that stage of on Qiyamah Day, that honor, where my honor is protected in front of the eyes of all humanity and all the angels. But no one can see me, my body. And that's very important. So the shade isn't there only for us to be protected from the sun or from the wrath of Allah. It's also there for us to be protected from the eyes of the whole creation. That's what the shade is there. So in the hadith Sallallahu says, شَابٌ نَشَأَ فِي عِبَادَةِ اللَّهِ. Sallallahu concentrates that this young woman or this young man, he develops a relationship with Allah that he cultivates and motivates himself and nourishes himself with the ibadah of Allah. Why in that point or why in that moment? Because in that moment of time, you brothers and sisters do not have any other responsibilities, major ones, in life. So you can completely focus your time and effort and energy on worship of Allah. I always make that statement, that before maturity, that bonding you have with Allah will always become an anchor to you when you are in your adult life and you're going through crisis and you're alone. That bonding you had when you're 7 years old, when you're 6 years old, when you're 4 years old, when you're 5 years old, when you're 9 years old, when you're 10 years old, when you're 11 years old, that bonding you had with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will become an anchor to you when you are old and you're going through a crisis, or when you're adult and you're going through a crisis, and you're alone also. No one is able to help you, no one is able to understand you. That bonding will become an anchor. You'll fall back to that. You'll always fall back to that. You'll always remember to pick yourself up because you had that bonding with Allah. You remember that point, you'll remember that moment, and you'll get up. You'll say, if Allah was there with me then, in that moment, Allah is with me now. And you'll pick yourself up. You'll get up. That's the moment. Number 2, when you're shy, when you have the energy and you have the determination, you have the urge and all of that, you have all of that, and yet you channel it for the right reasons, for the upright reasons. And you're going through a crisis. And remember that point. Remember that incident. If you have nothing else khair to ask Allah through, with or by, you can remember that incident. When that sister was looking at you, when that brother was texting you or trying to get your number, or when that so-and-so emailed you in a nice way, or he puts his guards down in front of you, or whatever. And you be firm and you be assertive. Okay, don't go to the extreme, an extreme or something. But you be assertive and sometimes sisters say about me that I'm very harsh and hard and very assertive in my classes. It's intentional. It's intentional. But it's also the same thing. But it's important that you have that character. Yes, your character is nice and gentle. Everyone knows that. But when you have to be assertive, be assertive. These things will come to you when you're going through a crisis. And you know the famous hadith in Bukhari Muslim, right? When that cave was concealed by the rock. In the examples, the last one was the one who was the woman greater, was the man greater? In that incident, there was another incident. He wanted her. She was his cousin, and then he eventually bribed her because she was in need of it. And then she said to him, when they were in that position, she said to him, "Ittaqillah." Who was more stronger? She was stronger or that, but who was more stronger? What do you think? Man or woman? If the woman was stronger, she would have been in the cave. If the woman was stronger, she would have been in that cave. Who was in the cave? It was the man. Because he had the urge. He had the urge. She didn't have the urge. She didn't like him, obviously. Must have been an ugly person. Inshallah he wasn't. He must be looking from the heaven, right? He's saying, "Oi, what were you saying?" So, him, right? Allah putting them there in the cave in the first place shows that what they did was miraculous. What these three people did was miraculous, and everyone involved was also, and what they were doing, what they're going through was a miracle. So then he stopped. Just by the word ittaqillah, he stopped. That shows that he actually had fear of Allah. He actually had that bonding. Whenever he had it beforehand. And then when she said to him, ittaqillah, he fell back. He fell back to that remembrance of who Allah is and who Allah was for him. It's not a belief in the unseen, and rather it was a belief with yaqeen who Allah is and was to him. So he was able to fall back to that reality of who Allah is and was to him. And thereby he was able to lift not only his physical body, but he was able to lift his emotions and the urge of emotions, which is an urge of survival. He was able to control it and channel it and get up, pack his bags and leave. He shows that the bonding with Allah is vital. That bonding, if you don't attain it now, whilst you're young and whilst you have the urge, you may never attain it. And the danger is, if you don't attain it with this urge now, you can easily then be blackmailed. You can easily be manipulated. You can easily then be even if the opportunity comes, you can even sell your soul. And the worst, you can even betray your spouses. So attain that stage now. Attain it. Once you attain it, you can guarantee yourself a place beneath the arsh of Jalla subhanahu wa ta'ala on the Qiyamah Day. After that, there's romance. Now I'll talk about the romance. Once you attain that, then you'll have romance. But if you don't attain that stage, trust me, it'll just be pain. I'll give you one incident. A friend of mine, a very close friend of mine, he married a woman out of love marriage. She loved him so much, she wrote his name on her skin. I don't know what do you call that? Yeah, whatever you call that. Yeah, I have no idea. So she wrote her name on her chest. A'udhu billah. Right? When I heard that, I was like, subhanallah, ajib. I mean, do people do this? He was weeping. Obviously, he was saying these things to me. He was weeping and laughing and crying and laughing and crying. I felt so sorry for him. But she wrote that on her chest. I was like, wow, what a love, So that's deep. But you know what? They had a daughter. And they had an argument. And he's that kind of guy. I know him from little kid, when we were child, like when we were 11 years old. So I know him for years. I know his character. I know how soft he is. He's a softy person. He's so loving, caring. He'll do anything for a woman. He's that kind of person, you know. So I'm sure he did everything for her. And I would believe him if he said I did everything for her. He did. He left from his parents' house. He bought her a house. He bought anything and everything. He said to me, there's 2 full cupboards of clothes. Whatever she wants, I give her. Anyway, one day that argument, and then she said to him, when he was about to leave, watch what I'll do today. And he thought, okay, she does that. She says these things every time, you know. He came back. He did not find his daughter, nor did he find his wife. Gone. Eventually, kind of story short, they went through courts and all of that. He was unable to see his daughter for like 6 months, and then eventually 3 months, and then eventually every 2 weeks he would go and see her in a center with all the other authorities there. So, subhanallah, when he always came to see me, he was crying and weeping and, you know, bitter. He was bitter, very sad. He was, I did this for her, I did that for her, I did this and this. But all of it, where does it boil down to? It boils down to giving your whole soul and your whole heart and your whole mind, your whole attention to that one individual and not to Allah. And that's why the pain is so severe, right? So many times he was calling me and he was about to commit suicide. And I saw this speed up, you know, quickly get up and go to him and hug him and, you know, take him out and talk to him and put sense to him, or sense in him. And Sallallahu said that very clearly. He said, you know, when you love someone, do not love them what? Totally, because there could be a day when you hate them, dislike them. Similarly, when you dislike someone, hate someone, do not hate them totally, completely. Because one day you may like them, you may even love them. Why does that happen? That happens because what we said before. It was at the ultimate level, that bonding is not there with Allah. Your ultimate level of love as a human being, you give it to this individual, man or woman. Anyway, the good side of the story is, eventually, what I said to him, be patient, make dua to Allah, cry to him, beg to him, and who knows, she may change, she may come back. Anyway, after 3 years they were apart. After 3 years, she eventually came back with his daughter. Alhamdulillah, I was happy for him. I was happy for them. But that 3 years, he could have committed suicide any time. Okay? This was the brother's side. Let me say his side of this sister. A sister, same, married, out of love, mashallah. The brother, he loved her so much. He didn't do what the other guy did, or the other sister did. But he loved her so much that he would come, park his car beneath her house, in the rain, snow, anything, park all night, he would sit in the car, and he would just stare at the window. No, I'm not joking. We're laughing, I'm not joking. No, I personally witnessed it also. I looked at the window and he's there looking up. This was years back, when I was a little kid. But anyway, so he used to come like this every single night. He'll be there, car parked, and he will be watching her. And she'll be obviously coming after an hour or so and looking and eyes or whatever, talking. Back then there was no telephone, there's no mobile phone. Yes. Her father said, no, you're never married to this guy because this guy is a gangster or whatever. You know, he has earrings in his ears and whatnot. So they refused, her family refused, everyone refused. But eventually, they got married. First few months they were very happy, whatever. And eventually, this man who would stare at the window for all night until 10 a.m. right? Then he will leave because he had to go to work. This man eventually used to brutally abuse her. Brutally. When I saw the incidents, obviously I was so shocked, and then we got involved and we tried to reconcile it. And she was like so adamant she wanted the divorce because of the brutality, the sheer brutality that the individual is to show. Alhamdulillah, we eventually, out of the pressure of the family and so forth, he eventually stopped what he was doing in terms of drinking and so on and so forth, and eventually, alhamdulillah, now they're okay. I'm telling you the good stories. Yeah? I'm not telling you the bad stories or the worst stories or incidents. I know lots of them. So they're happy now, inshallah. Again, same. What was the problem here? The problem here is the ultimate love wasn't for Jalla wa'ala. It was for somebody, it was for someone else. The ultimate attention wasn't to Jalla wa'ala subhanahu. So that's my advice, sincere advice to you as a Muslim and as a Muslimah, is attain that bonding with Jalla wa'ala. And attain that sweetness that Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and all the mu'minun and all the prophets and all the Sahaba and Sahabiyah generally and all the mu'minun attained it. They attained it. All the Sahaba, they attained it after they became Muslim. It was that, yes, we have the urge, but we can channel it through bonding with Allah Ta'ala subhanahu. That sweetness you'll never attain it after you get married. There is a level you can attain, but that complete sweetness you'll never attain after you get married. So attain that now. That's my advice. The last one, inshallah, we will end. And we'll take questions. I know that everyone's waiting to ask a lot of questions. Last is, there is nothing called soulmate out there. I know it's hard. It's like, yo, what did you say, Sheikh? What did you say? Yeah. I can look into your eyes and say, there's nothing called out there soulmate. Yeah. There's something out there called compatibility. Compatibility. Someone who's compatible with you. Yeah? There's also something called, perfect mate. Wow. Her hair shines in the wind, There's nothing, such thing as that. It's all fairy tales. Maybe in Jannah, yes. Inshallah. Yeah? But no way in dunya. No way. So there is no such thing as these matters, right? There's one sister. She had this kind of perception. My perfect husband, his soulmate, he'll be this, he'll be that. Once he got married, obviously she's witnessed the reality of a perfect husband, a soulmate. And she was so shocked that she actually said to me that she'll never ever get married again. I said, why not? She goes, I perceive that men are like this, they give you full attention when you speak, their eyes are on you, all of that. And she's a very subtle woman. She's very subtle, like she indicates everything. Even for me to get that out for her to say I'm going to get married again, for me to get that statement out from her, it took me nearly a year of consultation and reconciling until she said it. She's a very subtle woman. So the bottom line was she had this perception of a man, of a husband. If I indicate, you understand what I'm feeling inside, deep down in my soul. Wow. Superhuman or something. But she learned the hard way And she was so naive and gullible. Yes, she's pure. Yes, she's innocent. But she was so naive and gullible. Why? Because she was watching all of those romanticized movies and dramas and cartoons, even Simba. I do watch cartoons. I do admit that. With my family. Yeah, so it was so sad. I really felt sorry for her. I really felt sorry for her. And I said to her, yes, sister, there is no such thing as a soulmate. That's reality. But there is something called compatible mate. And ingrained that my sisters, especially sisters, because I feel they get hurt the most when they eventually come out from the bubble. They realize that there is no such thing as a soulmate. Because for them, it's very, very obviously, it's like a gem in their heart. They hold on to, not only with their hands, physical hands, they hold on to with the all the emotions. All the emotions, they hold on to it like that. There's a soulmate out there for me. I'm very sorry, sisters, but it's not true. It is not true. There's a compatible mate. What does that mean is that someone can, yes, feel your emotions, make you happy, give you some joyous times. You'll feel comfortable with them. You'll feel content with them. You'll be able to speak anything and everything with them. But they are not perfect. It's like when you're going through pain and agony, they will somehow erase that pain and agony. That will not happen. You're going through emotions and uncertainties and they will come and give you certitude. That will not happen. You're going through insecurities and you're waiting for him to come and give you security. That will not happen. You'll only find it with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You'll not find it with another so-called soul husband. So let go of those emotions now. Don't wait for you to learn the hard way and then for you to let go of it. Because when you go through that trauma, it'll be very painful. So try to let go of those soulmate attitudes and mindsets and emotions and feelings that you have. And stop reading those books or romance books. Seriously. And stop watching those dramas and movies. Stop it. Right? One sister, same sister, I told her, what do you watch? Like, how comes you have this perception? Yeah. So then she started naming a few books. Obviously, I had no idea of those books. And she started naming me some dramas and movies. Obviously, I had no idea of them. One of them, she constantly used to watch vampire something. I have no idea what it is. I still don't know what it is. So she doesn't vampire something. Vampire another level. Do you know? Do you guys know? I have no idea. So I said, okay, watching human beings romance is one thing. Watching vampire romance is something else. I mean, which world are we living in, subhanAllah? We're watching vampire romance. No wonder she's at that level, So as a sister, stop watching those dramas and movies or whatnot. Come down to the human level. So I advised her. And alhamdulillah, she began to slowly stop those dramas and movies and books. Inshallah, she's doing well. I haven't seen her lately, but she hasn't come to me. So inshallah, she's doing well. But the last I heard was she stopped watching those dramas and movies. So stop them. Stop reading those books and movies because it's all fairy tale. It doesn't exist in real life at all. And you have this mind filled with these fairy tale nonsense. And when you get married, it's completely... A man doesn't give you attention full time, 24 hours a day looking at it like this. It doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't matter how beautiful you are. It doesn't matter how beautifully dressed your hair or wear your clothes. It doesn't matter. He will come and say, mashallah, very well done. And then go and Can you make a cup of tea? Or you say, can you make a cup of tea? Yes, that's reality. It's reality, my brothers and sisters. It doesn't matter how beautiful you are. Some sisters have that notion that I'm so beautiful. to your husband, that beauty went within the first night. Allah. to your husband's eyes. It went. So now, even if you're so beautiful, to your husband's eyes, khalas, because he's attained everything now. Do you see? So now, to his eyes, it will be lower than what? It will be lower than what? The first thing is reality. Okay. Same thing with the brothers. When you give the brothers, then the sisters must say, "Yeah, I know. He's always picking on us." Imagine a brother who thinks, "No, I'm so handsome." Alright? Same thing with you, brother. After the first night, in her eyes, you're going down. Wallahi. It's true. Wake up to the reality. That's the real world you're playing with. Rather, with the sisters, it goes down more. With the sisters, it does. It goes down more. That's reality. So we have this notion, okay, now I'm so beautiful. If I dress up and put makeup on, or brothers now just put makeup on as well. I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard. But anyway, it doesn't matter if you do all of that. Once, one of the sisters, she said this. She goes, he always says, I don't dress up for him, I don't put my makeup on, I don't put perfume on. Every time he comes on, he sees me wearing rags and tags and stuff like that. So one day what I did was, I cleaned everything, I tidied up everything, and I put my best clothes on, put perfume on, and got the hair out and all of that. Very nice. And he comes in, and he says, MashaAllah. No, actually he didn't say that. I'm joking. He didn't say nothing. He just looked at her, and he goes, did you cook anything? No, honestly. Did you cook anything? And she's sitting there waiting for him to say something. That's the saddest thing. And he goes, did you cook anything? She goes, yeah, I cooked. And then he goes, grabs food, he eats, and then he says, I'm so tired. Changes his clothes, and he goes to bed and goes to sleep. She was fuming, obviously. Do right. But obviously she didn't know what happened in the workplace. He just got fired. So she was fuming all night. Can you believe, in the bed? So then nighttime he tried to hug her. She's like, get off. So then he was fuming. Oh God, I just got fired. So they came to me and they spoke, and subhanAllah, they didn't know what each other did, And then when they came to me, then obviously, I said, subhanAllah, she dressed up for you, all of that, she was waiting for you. And you didn't even recognize, you didn't even realize. He goes, no, I didn't even see she dressed. I didn't even see that. I go, why not? And then he didn't say to me in the beginning, he was like, because he didn't say to his wife, she's just next to him. So he just put his head down, and then he said, I lost my job, got fired. So, sometimes it's about understanding perspective of one another. And yes, it doesn't happen the way you want it, or the way you yearn for. Marriage doesn't go like that. And when you marry, my brothers, third point, I'll end it here. When you marry, my brothers and sisters, you're marrying a family. It's reality. Sisters tend to think that, I'm not marrying a family, I'm just marrying him. It's not true, my sisters. Brothers also. You think I'm still married the sister? It's not true. You have to go to the in-laws. They will feed you, yes, but they'll also slander you. It's natural. Same with the sister's side, husband's side. Same thing. They will be nice to the sister on the face, behind the backs they will gossip about her. It's reality. You're not marrying an individual, you're marrying a family. Sometimes you're marrying a tribe. Sometimes you're marrying a nation. All with all the baggage. With all the baggage. It's reality. So sometimes brothers come to me and sisters also say, what's wrong if I marry with a foreigner? I go, no problem, there's nothing wrong with marrying a foreigner. As long as you know you're marrying a nation. No problem. You're marrying the whole culture, you're marrying the whole civilization, you're marrying the whole baggage that comes with it. I'm happy, I'm more than happy to do the nikah. No problem. So the last point is, you're marrying your family, you're marrying your culture, you're marrying your environment, you're marrying your surrounding, you're marrying your lineage, you're marrying your nation, you're marrying, even could be a civilization. When you marry Egyptian, you're marrying a civilization. Trust me. I know brothers who got married to Egyptians. And I know Imam Shafi, they quote Imam Shafi's statement. Imam Shafi's statement. If you don't marry Egyptian, you have not married a woman. That's Imam Shafi's statement. Right? Obviously, it is Egyptian, so you say that. Right? If I was, I would say about the Bengali sisters. So, I know brothers who married Egyptian sisters. And the civilization of the Egyptian woman is that if they are angry with men, what do? Who knows? Huh? Before they go out the door, they get the shoe and they throw at the man. Yeah, that's part of the civilization. It's known in the culture that if a woman gets angry and frustrated with a man, what she has to do is let the man try to go out the door. Go, no problem, go out the door. So he goes out the door and she waits for him. Just behind him, far, depending on how big the house is. She'll go right at the back of the corridor with her shoes. As soon as he opens the door, wow. He's running, boom, another one. And these brothers, 3 of them I know, who got married, mashallah, they're all American brothers, the big, tough, black, strong. Not strong enough. I guess, They all came weeping to me. When I was in Egypt, they all came weeping. Some after 2 weeks, some after 3 months, some after 6 months. They go, Sheikh Hamza, I don't know what to say about this woman. I'm like, mashallah, you married the best woman. But you're marrying a civilization. I'm not talking about all the Egyptian sisters here. If they're Egyptian sisters here, mashallah, you're beautiful, mashallah, sisters. But you're marrying a civilization. It's the culture, it's the norm. They will do that. So you're marrying a civilization. Know that. Okay? May Allah give us tawfiq to marry our compatible spouses. Make imperfections with the perceptions by which we can make the imperfection into perfect way of living. May Allah give us tawfiq. May Allah give us righteous offspring by which we can eventually protect the lineage of the prophets and the mu'minun and the mu'minat, and eventually produce men and women who are great and produce greatness for not only for this ummah but for humanity at large. Subhanaka wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa
rahmatullah. Sheikh Abu Ubayd for giving us that talk on marriage, and I will now announce to the brothers and sisters that we're going to have an extended Q&A. So if brothers, I know it's 6:30 now, if brothers want to leave or sisters want to leave, please leave quietly. But we're going to allow a lot of time for the questions because I know a lot of people do have questions. I'm going to start with the first question that was asked on Ask ISOC. Sheikh, why is it not permissible to date someone with the intention of learning about what they are really like before getting married, so as to see if they are someone who you are able to get along with and are someone who you'd consider to be a good spouse? Why is it not permissible to date someone with the intention of learning about what they are really like before getting married, so you can to determine if they're going to be a good spouse?
Was that question from a sister or brother? Is there a name or anything there? Then I can align my answer.
Maybe answer couple. It's general.
It's general. Because it does differ. If it's from a brother, he needs a smack. If it's a sister, they need a subtle reminder. You know, ultimately, who creates love? Ultimately, who creates love? Allah, right? Who creates the bond between you and your spouses? Allah. Who creates the barakah in you and your spouses? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who created your pairs? Allah. Ultimately, everything is in His hands. And thereby, when it comes to marriage, my brothers and sisters, Allah specified through His Sunnah, His laws, His regulations in the creation, that if you go the wrong way, you'll not only get the wrong partner, you'll get a painful partner. That's reality. Now, the question is, can I not get a sister or brother through date? Of course you can meet someone to know them. Islam allows that, but it allows it who? Mahram. So you can meet a brother or sister if you want 100 times, no problem. Obviously, no problem. But just make sure that you can be in the cafe, you can be in the university, you can be in the center, you can be in the masjid, you can be anywhere. No problem. But as long as there are mahrams there, nephew, if you're shy of the brother, right, or the brother is shy of the guardians, it could be a nephew. It doesn't have to be the brother, her brother, or it doesn't have to be her father, it doesn't have to be her uncle. It could be a nephew, 14, 15-year-old nephew. No problem. The key the Sharia wants is not that you don't get to know that person. What the Sharia wants is you don't do anything haram with that person. So Allah wants you to be protected for your deserving husband or deserving wife. Who you deserve and who they deserve. So Allah doesn't want you to waste your honor with someone who doesn't deserve you, nor do you deserve. I don't want you to waste that honor of yours. Because once that honor goes once, it's very difficult to get it back again. And I don't know if you know, sisters, men are very manipulative. I don't know if you're aware. Men are very, very, very manipulative. It doesn't matter if they're beard and scarf and the graduates from here, and it doesn't matter. But men, by sheer nature, when it comes to women, they're very manipulative. And they also get very bored very quickly. It's part of the nature. With women, it's the other way around. They don't get bored with one man. It's part of their sheer nature. But men do. So, as soon as you start dating the haram way, he may not even like you. He may not want to even be with you. He may not want to even marry you. And this happens. Okay? For example, yesterday, a couple came. Yesterday. And saw me. The sister was manipulated by, not this brother, but obviously this brother, the one who came, she came with as her husband. But she got manipulated by another man. And the other man is quite well known in that area where she came from. She was manipulated. And he did not manipulate only her, he manipulated many other sisters. That's reality. So that's why Allah always put these guidelines to protect the woman more than the man. And yes, my brother, there are some sisters who are also manipulated. There are some sisters, reality. So if you think, okay, let me go and check her out, she can check you out. And then she can manipulate you. She's not only having fun with you, she's having fun with other people also. That's reality. I don't give you incidents, stories, but we know of people who have gone through that. So that's why Sharia forbade that kind of dating. But there's nothing wrong meeting your potential spouse 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. If more than 5 times, there's something wrong, either wrong with you or either wrong with them. After 3 times, it's either yes or no. So Salam said to Jabir, have you seen your woman? Jabir said no. So Salam said, Ungur ilayha. Go and see her. Go and see her. So there's nothing wrong meeting, seeing each other, if you really want to marry an individual. In your university life, let me cut short the answers by answering some of your questions you may have. In your university life, you may like a sister, you may like a brother. Don't let your guards down. Don't let your guards down. Be assertive. But behind the scenes, let your guards down, no problem. What does that mean? Talk to your guardians. In front of her, be assertive. I know one incident, again, I have so many stories to tell you. I know one incident, she inclined to him, she used to see him regularly, she inclined, eventually he proposed, but her family refused. And she came to me, he's from another country and she's from another country. Her family refused because of the country background. But she was so sad and upset. When she came to me, she thought that I will say, you know what, I'll go, because I'm in the family. She thought I'll go to the family and say, you know what, let her marry him. But I didn't. I said no to her. I said, no, I'm not going to do that because you need to get up from this attitude and mindset that it's okay for you to communicate with him because you're in love. First, you need to break that communication, channel it in the correct manner, and then if you really believe it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it will come to you, no worry. And if Allah has decreed so-and-so to be your husband or wife, he will come to you. I know another story. This brother who waited for a sister for 5 years. Her family refused to marry her to him. She stuck to him, he stuck to her. It was arranged marriage, not love marriage. They both stuck to each other. Both of them are my students. They both stuck to each other. Eventually, both families were refusing. Eventually, the decree of Allah was executed. They will get married. And their marriage was one of the biggest marriages I attended. The hall was packed and they had to feed the guests not once, not twice, 3 times. It was packed. And now, alhamdulillah, they have one daughter. Yeah, they have one daughter. Blessed marriage. But it was qadr. Both families refused. It was decreed they will marry each other. Khalas, it will happen. So I said to her, if he is decreed, no one can stop this marriage going through. But if it's not decreed, then no one can pull it through also. So if you like a sister or if you like a brother in your universities or in your workplaces, be assertive in front of him or her. Be formal. Never try to be alone with her or him because she will, obviously women are very subtle. They realize, okay, he's inclining towards me. He's soft towards me. They'll notice. They're very subtle. They're very, very subtle. Right? And brothers who are, mashallah, very, wise and smart and very clever, they also begin to notice, okay, her tone is very soft towards me. I wonder why. So, she prolongs the last sentences, the last words. So, be assertive. Don't lay your guards down. As soon as you lay your guards down, she doesn't come through, or he doesn't come through, shaitan comes through. Right? And then you lose the protection of that lineage. You know, that lineage, that is a lineage that's protected throughout the Muslim Ummah. There's a group of people who protect themselves until the last Qiyamah day. They're protected. Their lineages are protected. Right? So that honor, you don't be amongst that group of people who keep that honor. You be outside. That's problematic. So you be outside it. And look, Imam Mahdi is still to come, right? You can still be within that lineage of producing Imam Mahdi. You know? You can still be the father, great-great-great-grandfather, great-great-great-great-grandfather of Imam Mahdi. You can still be the great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother of Imam Mahdi. Or the people around him. Same with Isa and his companions. You can still be the great-great-great-great-grandfather of Isa and Islam's companions. You can still be great-great-great-great-grandmother of Isa alayhi salam and his companions. You still have that authority and power and choice. Why lose it? Why should we lose it? You know, people have this mindset, oh, so-and-so is the father of prophets, so-and-so is the mother of the prophets. But we still can be the father and the mothers of great man, great woman that will be coming eventually. So don't go, my sisters and brothers, don't go in the wrong way. Because the sad reality is when you go in that wrong way, it's a slippery slope. And eventually you lose your honor. Eventually you lose your honor. Then it's very difficult to get it back again at that level, at that sweetness. And let me tell you something else. This is a romance part, yeah? Romance. You know, the ones who protect the honor at that level of shyness and assertiveness and Gaza, both sides, the husband does it, the wife does it, and then they eventually get married. So Allah puts them together, tayyibun tayyibat. Allah puts them together. Now, obviously they have all the urges in their heart, in their soul, in their mind, everywhere. Then it's unleashed in a very innocent, pure manner. How great will the relationship be? It will be amazing. So there's an utmost level of expression of that urge. Only the mu'minun and the mu'minat attain it. No other human can attain except them. It's very pure, it's very innocent, it's very glowing. You know, some brothers and sisters, they will even say this, privately obviously, they will say this, that after our relationship, we both glow. They have nur on the faces and bodies. It's amazing. And some of the brothers and sisters, obviously, who are very pious and very honorable, they feel that. They feel that nur when they are in that intimacy. They feel that there's a nur enveloping the intimacy. It's very powerful, it's very profound, it's very special. It's like the souls are meeting, not only in the dunya, but in the heavens. It's amazing. So, you want to be part of that group of elite people who attain that sweetness. Allah said in a very famous hadith, he said, you know, until they attain what usayla. He actually expressed the word usayla. What's usayla? Usayla is a sweetness of honey. Sweetness of honey. So there is a special sweetness is only attained for the mu'minun and the mu'minat. That's like honey. Pure sweet honey. Yeah? So, wallahi, my brothers, we really need to represent the greatness of our Allah and all the mu'min and mu'minat that went before us, and that legacy, that lineage that our ummah represents. You know, our ummah represents shyness towards the rest of the humanity. We represent shyness. Shyness is frowned upon today. So we need to revive that shyness, the character of shyness, not as an individual only, but as a collective body and as a collective ummah in front of the humanity.
So we have a lot of questions coming in. If brothers and sisters feel shy about mentioning it here, you can still ask on Ask ISOC, and we'll get the question to Sheikh. So the next question I have, Sheikh, is from a sister, how do we determine compatibility? What are the most important factors to consider?
Very good question. Jazakumullah khair, sister. That's a very, very good, vital question which I missed to speak on. Compatibility, what do you look at? Okay, write it down. Yeah, this is something that every brother or every sister asks me, and I try to advise them as much as I can. First and foremost, look at the family's upbringing. That's the most important, crucial thing. Look at the family upbringing. So if you were brought up in a Tablighi family, I'm being blatant here. If you were brought up in a Tablighi family, don't go into a Salafi family. There will be a clash of civilization. Even if you're Salafi or Talafi, right? Be careful. So if you're a Tablighi family, look for Tablighi family first. If you can't find it, no problem. If you're a Salafi family, which is rare as a family, Salafi, no. Hanafi, yes. So, upbringing is very important. Second, the brother. Did he travel a lot? Or was his upbringing more in this country? Same the sister. Did she travel? Did she go to Saudi Arabia? Was she in Saudi Arabia or Emirates first, and then from Bangladesh to Saudi to Emirates, and then she came to UK, she went to France, and then she came to UK? And you were brought up all the way in this country, right? Or the other one, the brother, traveled in a plane or in a truck from, across the globe, and then eventually came knocking on your door. Upbringing, yeah? And then family, and then upbringing. Very important, right? Be it religious, be it fitri, be it environment, culture, all of these are very vital. Third, you might laugh at this, but is he or she family orientated? Meaning, in the family, what role does it play? Is it the elder brother? Is it the younger brother? Is it the middle brother? And then what role does it play? What role does it play? Is he a leader? Or is he just a yes man? Yes. Yes. Yeah, of course. Yes. Is he a yes man? If he's a yes man, he'll be in big trouble. Sister, he'll be in big trouble. Because then he's not assertive enough within his family. Something family will take place from his mother, from his father, from his brother, from his sister, he'll be like, of course, yes, of course. So you to know where his place is within the family. Same with the brother. You need to know the sister. Where is she is in the family. Is she also your sister? Yes, my mom. Yes, my dad. Yes, my sister. Yes, my mother. Is she a yes sister? She doesn't have her own mind. She doesn't know what to say. No, he's my husband. You can't interfere. Doesn't matter if you're my father. Doesn't matter if you're my mother. Doesn't matter if you're my sister. Doesn't matter if you're my beloved brother. Doesn't matter if you're my uncle. Doesn't matter if you're my twin sister. He is my husband. So you need her to stand firm and to say, no, you can't. No one can come and interfere between me and my husband. You need that kind of attitude in mind. Right? Same with the husband, obviously. If he's not a yes man, he will be a husband. He will say, no, she's my wife. He will stand his ground where he needs to stand his ground between him and his wife and his family. So, is he a family person or not? If he's not a family person, then that's a bigger problem than him being a family person and a yes man. Or she being a family person and yes sister. Why? If she's independent, I have a sister that says, oh, I'm independent. No, they message me, sisters, they message me. And I go, they're not married, right? They're like, old, they're getting old. And I'm like, sister, you need to get married. Yes, alhamdulillah, I'm married, but I'm independent. I'm like, that's why you're not getting married, wake up. So, individualism, feminism, independency, these notions. So if you find a brother who's always out, or always just working, making money, business and all of that, he doesn't care about the family or relatives, or he has no idea, but he's always out, independent, right? that brother will be problematic for that sister. Or for any sister. Why? Because he'll be exposed to many other women. There's nothing wrong being exposed to many other women. Alhamdulillah. But problem is, it's the West. Hello? And people who are involved in masjid and organizations, no problem. Alhamdulillah, they can be out 24 hours. No problem. I'm trying to, protect myself from my wife saying, oh, he's out 24 hours a day. So there's nothing wrong being in the masjid and organizations where there's mostly men and sisters with niqabs, alhamdulillah. Sort of okay. But generally speaking, general men are out there with. So that's not the problem. If you have a sister like that, she's out always work and this and that and this and that, and that's not a problem. So these are the things that are realistic. The fourth one, ask him or her about it. The involvement not only with Muslim organizations or ambitions and lofty, but how much they donate. It's important. If you want to know, if you really want to know, like really want to know a person, ask them how much they donate weekly or monthly or yearly. Not zakat donation. How much? A lot of people ask this question: how do I know a person? Yeah. And after thinking about it for years and years, I thought about this issue. I came to this conclusion. Ask them how much they donate. Especially for brothers. Obviously for sisters, they don't earn money much. But with sisters, I've got another way to find out who they are, sister, the heart, who she is. Okay? Ask them, of course, ask the sister, how much du'as they make for their sisters, who do you make dua for the most? Yeah, how much du'as they make for their sister-in-law. See, no one had a clue I want to say that. Because no one makes that dua. Sister-in-law. What? Why? Answer, what's the answer? What's the answer? Because eventually she'll be spending with their parents. Eventually that sister-in-law will be spending her time with their parents more than the sisters. Yeah? So sisters, start making dua for your sister-in-laws. Yeah? Then if she can do that wholeheartedly from her heart, right? Then you have a genuine sister who is innocent, who is pure, who has that structure of society and understands how everything works. Obviously, all sisters don't do that at the moment, but the next stage is they make dua for their parents. Yes. They make dua for their parents. So, if you ask them, do you make dua for the parents? If they say yes, how often? Then you will know that they are appreciative women. So the question to ask the brothers, how much they donate? The question to ask the sisters, how much du'as you make for your parents? Or when do you make du'as for your parents? Okay? And then, another one, how much khidmah do you do to your parents? I know sisters, for example, they'll say, I don't want to do so much work for my mother-in-law. But when they go to their own house, they don't even look after their own mother and father. The mother cooks. The father makes his own teas. Okay? So this woman is a cruel woman in reality. So, when you can find a brother donating, in the affirmation of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he says what? Sadaqah is what? Burhan. Sadaqah is a proof of your reality. Okay? You need to donate smartly, but you also need to donate so much so that your nerves hurts. If you can do that, you as a brother, you as a man, you as a woman, you can then be able to sacrifice for your sister, for your brother, for your mother, and yes, for your wife. You can start sacrificing. Because as a man, the ultimate status is left in sacrifice. I said that again, as a man, the ultimate status is left in sacrifice. How much can we sacrifice? Okay? So I hope that answers the question.
We have a lot of questions coming through on Ask ISOC, so if you could maybe make the answers a bit more concise. The next question that I'm going to ask...
More short, you mean?
I don't mean that. The next question is, I have had a haram relationship in the past which I am repenting for. I strongly feel I have nullified my eligibility to marry a pious Muslim husband in the future due to my past. I feel sad about this and I can't get this idea out of my head. What advice do you have for me?
I get that question quite often from brothers and sisters. And I say, no, don't think like that. Don't think like that, don't even believe like that, because it's not true. It's not true. It's no way true that if you lost your honor in haram relationship, just because you've done that, that doesn't necessarily mean Allah will prevent you from attaining the ultimate honor and pleasure in a halal relationship. No way. Allah is Ghaniyul Hamid, He's also merciful, He's graceful. He's Tawwabur Rahim, Kareem, Jalla wa'ala. I know so many sisters and brothers who went through that process, and now Jalla wa'ala has provided them with the best of wives and best of husbands. I know many. So don't think like that, because it's not true. It's not true, it doesn't happen. If you sincerely and honestly repented, right, you will, inshallah ta'ala, will get the best of spouses that's compatible to you. No doubt about it. But do it the halal way. And halal way doesn't mean it's an obstacle. No, it's opportunity. It's opportunity. As we said, you can meet the brother with your mahrams, no problem. Once, twice, 3 times, no problem. You can give CVs after CVs. You can receive CVs after CVs. Pictures after pictures. No problem. No problem. Do it the halal way. Right? Do it the pleasurable way that Allah wants to be pleased with. And inshallah ta'ala, once you get the compatible husband, once you marry, you'll be more than fine, inshallah. And this thought will not come to you. So no way think that you're low or, khalas, I can never attain that honor. No, I never ever think like that. It's not true. It's not true. The reality is, Allah keeps that door open for people to come from if they can't come from the front door, Allah keeps the back door open for you to come from the back door. Right? So don't ever think that. It's not true.